The Alchemical Rede magazine. What the Garden Says. Many now say goldenrod has been vindicated of allergy blame. Rather, it is ragweed hiding in the corner of guilt instead. By Clarity. Alchemical Rede magazine. 2026 July 19th issue. 2026 Clarity. Visit us at www.situlacodex.com. What the Garden Says. Introduction. Making way for the odd. The plant life is relationshipial. The ease of the curve is the connecting factor that speaks. 2026 July 19th issue. What the Garden Says. Goldenrod and ragweed. There is a difference, and the garden has said. The open of garden allows for the expressionary energy to flow with compassion and love, with a great sense of well-being. We are grateful for all the ways in which the garden guides and nourishes us. We tend it always and keep it safe. It is our honor to do so, a privilege and a calling that creates so many seen and unseen ways for us. We have spoken to and listened deeply to the Fey realm for years and years, never letting go of what spoke to us as we were little. We lived in a box of our own making, an environment that held us in our own choosing. We were marked early on as of our own nature, sovereign in the way of the child listening at the gate of knowledge. Language spoke to us not of anything except how things came about, how things worked, how imagination held the key. Our garden has a gate and the key is invisible. We always know where the key is hidden. It is always in our sight. We see to it that it is kept safe and available when needed. There is a golden rod that marks the spot where listening can grant you passage, you sign us, and there is no allergic response, only the calm, quiet space of sacred. The temple within the garden is structured with its 4 posts, red and climbing, and the garden nests it as central. As things rotate and change, the combinations change as well, and what once worked easily no longer flows in the same direction, and this is worthy of how things express. Timing is an essential reason for rotation, and an element that can be used to make difference express itself in ways aligned through that very difference. New has a word, patience. It is early, and it relies on intent, with the practice of how the coming and going relies completely on compassion for self and others. It is essential that both are included. Otherwise, there is an incomplete formula that will always remain that way. We are in the turn of the garden, and the ease of travel comes from the inside expressing to the outside its love for beauty, the love that brings the bee to the scent of acceptance, and the view that the butterfly bestows upon change with compassion. Letting the answers come forward when change occurs, the garden nourishes all who choose ease as a path that splits the narrow passage even further, so travel can remain whole and complete. The Fey realm always assists those who maintain an alliance that sews into itself the fabric that holds the story whole. Eating through the knots are the natural purveyors of condiments that spice up the borders and prevent the season from scooting off into fall. The summer is full on, and the remarking of solidity is wad to the painted ones. Wood is the element, air is the season, warm is the nature of alchemy that does not hesitate to be what is needed to safeguard the arc that reaches far past this present living, and simply exists as necessary. Wake up your pointer finger, what makes the hole for the seed. Wake up to your relationship, the dirt, the hole, the nest for the seed, the nestial presence for the new idea, the Nestle commerce for food and grain and potion. The conversation around the nesting running through the lane that leads to the back of the house, the back of our mind, the back of our conscious filters that try to climb the garden wall, but instead of climbing outward, they climb inward. Have you given this world your time? Have you really thrown it down deep enough? Are there tiny ladder that you can climb back up with the slack begins to grow? Grow up through the meaning of what loads itself with a future, and where does it go from here to there, or there to here, or maybe nowhere? just filling up the hole dug deep into the garden plan. Do you fill it up with poison ivy, goldenrod, or ragweed? The season is coming for Owl 3. I move quickly to close the door and secure myself for the siege. The Dalai Lama, July-born, raven and crow totemic, and Buddha waits. We winter our ways in the season of growing. ND, we never look any deeper than what we have past known. It is not cheaper by the dozen, it is cheaper by the thousands who have never seen the seed planted and do not know where the hole resides. Are you the hole that should have grown the seed and never truly planted it beyond the walls? What musters up quickly now is what has been hidden and laid away too afraid to grow over the garden wall and thread the world with a future that sovereignty reads. The folded patterns of relief are now in place and registered. I sit out today among the garden plan and wonder about the restlessness that defines the future without a gardener, a digger, a planter, a seeder, that now strains in rocks and concrete squares, finds more room in patience, tolerance, compassion for the seeder and the digger to pass through the compassion needed to dig a bed, water a seed, or convey a memory of the ley line, always marking the territory. The square perspective emulates precision, so we now rock the cradle of the life we've had, the life we have and the life we will have, and hope somewhere we find a reprieve for the order of the time we give to the builder, the sender, the seeder, the digger, the weaver, the mender, the planter, the connector, the protector, the finder, that all make potent one day, in one moment of divine awareness occupied by a storm of change. She awakens in us as we paint new patterns. Closure. We embark on the old of the odd, or is it the odd of the old? Publishers Suzanne and Robert Hake Clarity. So